welcome back. What's my fucking... I know my foot looks rank. Anyway, welcome back to Love Shack.
Episode 2.
Hope you guys enjoyed our first episode and how much we swore. Maybe we should just do the little disclaimer again that if you're easily offended by things, this may not be for you.
Don't fucking watch this.
because we swear so much. And we sometimes talk about sensitive topics. However, if it is for you, welcome. Enjoy the ride. I might do a little striptease later if you're lucky.
If you follow our private channel, you'll get to see that.
OnlyFans.
Follow
I should
us
do an OnlyFans.
The Love Shack.
I reckon I don't know. Maybe I'd make money.
I'd be so awkward.
I'd totally make some money from that. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh my god. So today, what are we talking about?
Toxic relationships. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Thank you, queens. Okay, cool. So we have a bit of a plan because last time we got extremely off topic, off track, ended up cutting probably over 50% of the podcast because it was quite inappropriate.
Because we just fucking roasted every
we literally,
that we knew.
We roasted it
and
around.
Just like did not want to get sued or bashed.
Yeah, that's true. Or
because that's not what we
intrusive
really want.
emails in my inbox.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I had to. So I guess last time we gave you a little bit of an overview of who we are and what we do.
A backstory.
Yeah, and one of our biggest things that we got, like biggest suggestions of topics, was toxic relationships and breakups. So I did a little thing on my Instagram, my God, probably a couple months ago now, of like a breakup guide because I went through pretty hefty old breakup about 8 months ago now, 9 months. So yeah, I did like a little breakup guide thing and it kind of talked about like process of breakups. I think I like archived it from my Instagram. Sorry guys, I'll put it back up one day.
I did see it, I remember.
Yeah,
I was like,
and
who's this fucking loser? Ugh, breakups. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck. All right. She's really ripping the claws out today, ladies.
It's not my day.
Nah, it's not. It's not your week. Okay. Anyway, yep. So I guess it kind of stemmed from there. But Mel, what do you have to say about toxic relationships?
So today I feel like we're talking from like 2 points of view. So you've obviously had your fair share of experiences and boy troubles and relationships. On the other hand, your girl lonely and has never had a boyfriend. So
oh god, I wish I had that luxury.
So like I haven't had my like a
serious relationship. Yeah.
So but I've seen a lot of my friends like go through toxic relationships, bad breakups, and just like shitty situations that fucking they date unnecessary guys.
Unnecessary. You know what? That is the fucking word.
Unnecessary guys that have no ambition in life and just fucking do nothing.
That
and
is
just,
the word of the day.
Whatever.
Unnecessary.
So,
no, I'm sorry. I'm so
as
sure.
This
Keep
podcast
going.
is unnecessary. As Norah is unnecessary.
Okay, we spiraled a little bit there.
No, I'm kidding. But like, yeah, I'll talk from a friend's view.
And they always make us feel like they're necessary and that we're nothing without them.
Yeah,
but
or
realistically,
they pull a card, you'd be nothing without me.
Oh yeah, or if I wanted to be in a relationship, I'd be with you, but I can't be in a relationship right now.
No, fuck you.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm just there at your disposal. Anyway, we're gonna get into that because that's a big part of toxic relationships is just being at someone's beck and call and them
not appreciating you.
Yeah, not appreciating you, which I think is a really common thing that comes. A lot of my girlfriends have been in relationships where they've been severely underappreciated because they wear their hearts on their sleeve and they're like all in when they're all in. I know I've been unappreciative in relationships, but also been underappreciated. So yeah, I guess I've been like definitely in one of my relationships, I've been a toxic part of the relationship too. Like when I was young, I was in a relationship when I was like probably like 17 and then to the end of school. So I think it was like nearly 2-3 years of being like together, whether we were officially together or just talking at the start of things. And I was very young and underdeveloped and I didn't really understand communication. I had a lot of internal problems, which I think a lot of toxic relationships stem from people not figuring their shit out and then projecting it on
100%,
their partner.
100%.
So we put a little brief because we went so off topic last time. So
So we want to stay on topic.
let's
and
stay on
actually
topic. I
talk
want
about
you to take
things
the
that are-
floor because I talk so much and I think I'm sick of my own voice
and
already.
no one actually wants to hear Nora speak.
That's
It's the Melanie or show now.
wow. Okay.
Okay, so how are we gonna start this? I'll speak about like toxic relationships from a point, like a friend's point of view. I've seen a lot of my friends go through very bad relationships, being cheated on, abused emotionally, physically, you fucking name it, like mentally controlling them and stuff like that. And I just think that it's fucking shit as to see as a friend, because like when you cherish your friendship and care so much for someone and like you see them like be such like a bubbly bright person and then change into someone that's so like negative, so
like
unconfident, they're just like a different person. It's fucking sucks.
I was in like this really like that crazy relationship when I was younger, and we started seeing Nala. Relax, bro.
You were seeing Nala?
We started seeing each other again after we broken up for like maybe 3 months. And that was pretty fucked, not gonna lie. Like, don't know why I did that, but I think I was also like quite unaware of the massive trauma that he'd caused me. And yeah, I wanted that familiarity, I guess.
Yeah, because when you get comfortable, like you just want to like
Go
stay
back
with
to
that
it,
person.
yeah.
Like, it's not easy,
especially
to get
being young, because you just don't know who you are. So I was I went back, and one of my best mates at the time, she was like, I don't like the person that you are with him. Like, I don't like the person that he turns you into. And you know, I'd never really kind of thought of it from that perspective beforehand. Like, I think I just thought that it was just like us together in the relationship, and there was no individuality in there because we were both just so emotionally reliant on each other. There was like a lot of not nice stuff that happened in that relationship as well that really built me as a person coming out of it. And I think yeah, for sure, like that's a big, so I guess like that's a big
I didn't put a fucking timer on.
no, that's okay. That's a big characteristic of like defining a toxic relationship, is especially if people that have known you longer than you've been in that relationship, and they're like, you turn into this person that you're just not around them, especially like your friends that really truly know who you are. That's a really big indicator. So yeah, sorry, I got a little off track. Fuck.
Again.
Wow,
She's
control
fine.
me.
No, but like it just sucks to see someone like I can tell, even when like I have a friend that keeps getting back with him, I can tell when she's back with him because she's completely different. Like she gets to like they're just so like angry and like hiding
like
everything.
Short feuds.
And it's
like I
like
used to be the same.
And it's like I can't do it. Like I can't physically do anything. And as much as I say he's bad for you, he's not good for you, or like you changed, you're better without him, doesn't matter.
Do you find that she takes it out on everyone except for her partner as well? Like she'll like if something happens with him, and then you guys are like, oh, you know, that's actually toxic. That's not healthy that he's doing
like
that. And then she'll like be his lawyer and like defend the fuck out of him.
100%. Like I've had a friend, like another friend, and like still defends him to this day. Like someone that's so, like was abusive to her, cheated on her, and she still defends him and goes, oh, I could have been better. Like it was my fault. Like if I was better,
it's
it
not even
been
defending. That's just that manipulation of like him making her feel like she wasn't enough as a result of his actions, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like
which
crazy.
comes across to all of her friends. Like, how crazy is that someone can take control of your mind so much that you literally defend them when they're treating you so badly to all of the people that know you the best? Like, it's just wild to me.
She was emotionally abused like by him, and like she still defends him, and it's like I don't get it, because like,
you don't understand.
I don't
when you're in
understand
it
because I'm not in it. But like from a friend view, it's just shit to see like someone like like
it's so hard.
Even just like when we're going out, it's like if we know he's gonna be around or whatever, it's like
it's just that tension.
She's like, oh my god, is like, do I look alright? Stuff like that. It's like
so
like
crazy.
You are such a pretty girl. You don't need his satisfaction. You don't need his confirmation that you are good. Like you are good enough.
Yeah,
but, like
literally.
she obviously doesn't think that.
Yeah, that heavily reliance, and I find that so big. I mean, I guess I'm just talking from a young girl's perspective because that's my lived experience, but like it could have happened with men as well. But just that feeling of like having to validate your self-confidence off of someone and having like an anchor in someone, whether that be like you suffer anxiety and they're an anchor for your anxiety, or they're an anchor for your depression, in the sense that like you aren't okay if they're not around you. And like it's so unhealthy to have an anchor in someone. And I know I'm really guilty of it, you know, like before I moved into my own apartment and like I moved so much. I used to try and build homes in people all the time because I had such instability moving a lot as a kid. And I also had split parents, so my perception of relationships was really different to say somebody with parents that are
Yeah.
together. So I found that I would like anchor my sense of home in a relationship, which would be why when they were treating me really badly, I was so reluctant to let it go because I would be like, no, I fucking worked so hard to like build this into something. You know that there's so much. We're going to talk about potential later because that's a
Yeah.
whole another goddamn topic.
Yeah.
But like yeah, just building a home in someone and being like, I've been through all this stuff and I just want some stability. Like I find the biggest learning curve that I've had, even just in the past 12 months, is that I'm my own home. Like I'm my own
Yeah.
stability. And if I rely on someone else, that's something that's completely out of my control. And it's so like diabolical. Like it can literally change in the drop of a hat. Like somebody can like turn around and, you know, be unfaithful or not respect you or do something that compromises your trust or compromises your perception of their respect for you. And I think that, yeah, that's a really unhealthy trait that I'm so guilty of falling into it. I'm sure that if I get into a, I'm not getting into a new relationship anytime
Yes,
soon.
everyone on Tinder that message Nora.
Just know it's casual. But yeah, like I feel that's just something people need to work through. And I think that an word of advice for men out there that are very, very internalized, like they have very internalized problems and they don't like to deal with their shit. There's no shame in reaching out for help. There's absolutely no shame in having
100%. There's
therapy.
nothing wrong with that.
And also, you're setting yourself up for success in the future if you're dealing with these problems first. I think there's such a negative stigma. And I've like kind of come to peace with the things that have happened to me in the past couple of years, but I think there's a big stigma about um when people have mistreated me, I don't view it anymore as like they're an evil person, which I mean, it's probably just because I'm a very overly empathetic person. But I think it's like they've got their shit that's 110% out of my control and
Yeah.
that's their responsibility that they've brought it into our relationship. So at the end of the day, you go and sort your shit out because you're going to hurt some fucking poor girl and make her entire perception of relationships and love change because you haven't sorted your shit out. So
I think that like if you know you're not in the right headspace or in the right like mind space, like mentally, whatever, you should not be with someone because if you can't control it.
yeah.
Not like, oh, you have a
Yeah.
mental issue, you can't be with someone.
Yeah.
No, like if you can't control it, then you shouldn't be with someone because you can't take that anger out on someone or blame them on it or like use them as an anchor because that's not fair. Like you should be your own anchor. And
Yeah.
like that's like probably the like reason why I've like been single all my life. Like I know I'm not ready mentally and like I have
Yeah.
shit going on. I'm not going to put that on someone. I'm not going to like get someone involved because I know like it could go downhill. And I think if you're like I'm mature in that way that I know that.
Yeah, and that's an awesome, like, realistically, that's a massive win for you as well. Because I think that the perception of, like, I'm not ready can have such also a negative stigma around it, as in, I have so many problems. That, and, you know, like, a kind of sympathy for yourself.
Yeah.
But realistically, you're like, no, I want to work on me for
Yeah,
me.
100%. Yeah.
So when the opportunity comes along where someone's going to treat me to the standard that I want to be treated and
Yeah.
have the respect that I deserve
Yeah.
for myself, like there's no guilt around that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel like there's such a big
Yeah.
guilt around people looking after themselves.
And putting themselves
Yeah,
first
and
and stuff like
even when
that.
they're in a relationship as well, you know, like when you're like, ah, no, I need to have this time to myself. It's like if that person hasn't already been through like a growing stage in their
Yeah.
life where they've had to prioritize their own mental health, you know, yeah, I just like it's so, you're so right, it totally comes down to like just don't go and get into a relationship if you know that you are not mentally stable enough to be self-reliant in
Yeah.
terms of emotions and in terms of you know, just moving through
Like
life with
reacting,
goals.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and oh my god, I used to have such a short fuse too. Like I really had to work on that after like my longest term relationship when I was younger. I had like such a big like I would just flip. Like I'd get so angry in a matter of seconds, and that's something that I still have to work on it. Like I get
Yeah.
so angry sometimes.
Yeah, I know. She just hit me before.
But it also can be a result of a guy mistreating me and then making me feel like I'm crazy.
But that's the thing. When you're young, I've always said, like, when you're young as a child or a teenager, whatever, that's when your mind is like molded. And if you
Yeah.
obviously experience things like that, toxic
That
relationships,
becomes your norm.
exactly, and you're
Mm.
like used to getting treated like that, you're gonna have that mental state when you're older. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And like it sucks because like obviously you're a child and like you have no control, but that's what happens. Like if you're in that kind of like place at that kind of time in your life, it's just not gonna go fucking
Queens,
well.
we're doing so well on this
I
one.
know.
We're getting really deep. I'm actually into it. I felt like the last one was a little light-hearted, so yeah, we ramped up the big guns.
Yeah. Well,
Cute.
man.
Well, I mean, I guess we kind of sparred like in terms of we kind of answered a few. We had one of them which was what we each think toxic relationships are. So I guess you kind of answered it. I guess in terms of mine, it like you bring out the worst in each other. Like was with a guy and I just became so angry and so insecure, and that's just not who I am at all now.
It's good that you know that.
Yeah,
Though,
my last one, like this last recent one, I towards the end of it, I just became this person that I wasn't, and constantly checking my phone. Feel like I'm looking over my shoulder. There was not really any trust there, and I think the biggest thing that people need to remember in relationships that go south, you ended for a reason. It's never going to go back to the same way that it was. And if the trust has been broken, they need to step up to the plate and they need to work hard to regain that. Because realistically, if you're working hard to prove to someone that you deserve to be in their life, that's fucked. Like, that's just bottom
you
line.
should never have to like gravel to be
Like,
in someone's
why
life.
after like someone does you wrong, why the hell would you need to be like, oh, but like you've done me wrong, but this is why I deserve to stay in your life? Like, that's such a strange mindset to be in, I think something that like we both probably know is that like when somebody wants to see us, they're on our time and we don't have much of that to disperse. So I think there's a really big thing in terms of like respect that comes into that, where it's like we have these jobs that can change, timetables can change, you know, working hours at the drop of a hat. And I think if people don't really respect that and respect our craft and recognize that it's actually a career and a field that we want to go into, we run into heaps of problems. But that's another episode that we will do.
Creatives and dating. Dunna,
Cute. Cool. So characteristics.
No, but wait, quickly talking about you had a point where like if you're in a toxic relationship, whatever, like you need to know like it's okay to not be with them, and that's a big thing, especially when you come from a relationship when you're young.
Oh,
people think like
you just don't know who you are without them.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, people grow up, people change. Not everyone's meant to be in your life, and as much as that sucks, like, you're not going to keep everyone in your life. And like, I've seen friends like try and hold on to relationships like since they were like dated when they were 14, 15, and you're not the same person. Like, you grow up, you go through experiences, and you change. And like, some people might change and work together, but most people don't change.
That's the quote.
To be together, like they change to grow. Like they
you
grow
either
apart.
that's the quote. Someone, I can't remember if it was like a therapist or something, but they were like, you either grow together or you grow apart.
Yeah,
and it's so true. As a young person, like as you said, your brain is molded at such a fond time. So like if you're in a relationship that's really fucked and like they're holding you back, like I'm friends with a girl who was like in this relationship for like 7 years. And she really wanted to she's a creative, so she really wanted to do her field and like really excel in that. And he was so he was so the opposite. So he was like, no, you can't go and do this. Are there going to be guys at this shoot? Blah 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 blah. Like, it was really crazy. So she literally held back all of her goals and aspirations to please this guy. Can you stop?
But that shouldn't be how it is. Like, your partner should support you, not bring you down. And like, one thing people need to know, it's okay to grow apart from someone. It's okay not to stay with your high school love or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, it's fine.
It's not. We've just been conditioned that our lives are Disney movies. Like, literally,
because it's fucking not
since
like
the beginning. Oh fuck! It would be
Cinderella,
really nice.
fucking No.
as sexist as those movies are,
Honestly.
it would be fantastic if my those dresses, like, sister,
Yeah.
I am ready. My closet is ready.
But relationship-wise, there is no fucking Prince
no,
Charming
so
like
much,
that out there.
so much reliance on men. I just can't think of
Yeah.
anything worse in my life than being reliant on not even just a man, just someone else, financially,
Yeah.
emotionally.
Like you are your own
Yeah,
anchor.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
100%.
queen.
Yes, girl.
Yes, girl. Okay. So I guess characteristics of a toxic relationship.
They're definitely different. They're not the same person. They're angrier. They're
Mm.
very secretive. Like if they go see him, they're not going to tell me. Like,
Ooh,
and
that's
they'll
a big
hide it
one.
or they'll like backdoor it when we're
Yeah,
out or
because
something.
they know that you're not
'Cause,
approving
I'm
of
not
it.
going to prove it. But the thing is, like, I'm not going to prove it, but I'd rather know where you are and like know what's happening than like you hide it. Because what if something happened? Can you fucking open that or what?
It was so awkward. I was like trying so hard to open it. Okay.
Like yeah, and it's like I would rather know where you are than someone hide it from me because I'd rather just like in case something happens is just to see someone like I've seen a couple of friends like were once like the most confident, like outgoing people, just like loving life to like the most depressed, like insecure
Yeah.
and people and it's just
So
like from a
weird.
friend it's like
Scary.
it's scary because it's like you were once someone and now you're completely different because of one person.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows you, like, yeah, I don't know if I said before, like, how much power someone can have over your mind. And it's really scary in terms of, like, emotional abuse and stuff. That stuff is, like, that's something I've really experienced through lots of things, like, through friendships, relationships with my parents and, partners and stuff. It's been, like, a really prominent theme in my life. And I think from those relationships, I guess, like, in terms of talking about characteristics, um, you build this tolerance for bad behavior.
Yeah.
And I think the lines get blurred between your standards and boundaries because they're love bombing you. So love bombing's basically this thing where they overwhelm you with love and presents and compliments and all this shit, and then they literally cut it off like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And it's this crazy thing where it's like kind of like a heroin addict where you get like this fix of someone and they completely take it away and you're like literally feeling like you're going crazy wanting more.
Yeah.
So that comes into, we're going to talk about gaslighting as well because that's something that's super important that Mel and I both, Mel's seen in a lot of friends and I've experienced and also seen a lot of my friends' relationships too.
When you go on a first date with someone, you're not going to be like, this is what's happening in my life. I'm fucking depressed. I have no money. I'm broke. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, you're going to be like the best things about your life. And like, fair enough, because like, I would do the same. But like,
absolutely.
you never hold on to that because that's not fucking reality.
It's not real. And yeah, so that links into potential. So there's this amazing podcast. My friend Laura, shout out to you, got me onto it. It's by Rainbow Salt on Instagram. I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, she talks about why empaths, I'm not sure how to pronounce them, fall in love with potential. So if you don't know what an empath is basically somebody that really, really feels other people's emotions. They're like a sponge for other people's feelings. I guess, like, in terms of if someone is in pain that they really care about, they literally feel that weight. And empaths also go 110% overboard in terms of seeing someone else's point of view. Like, they'll really tolerate crappy behavior if they're seeing it from some, like, if they're like, oh, this person has stuff going on, that's why he's treating me badly, etc., etc.
Then that's fine. That's okay. But
Yeah,
no.
which is like, it's like this tolerating of really crappy behavior and being treated really badly as well. So falling in love with potential, I guess, empaths, they see someone and they project these qualities and they see, like, I guess it's such a weird analogy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't speak English.
English is my first language.
English was not my first language. It actually wasn't though. So if I say something wrong,
sorry,
Chinese
Queens.
was my first language.
English
Hi,
is my
foreign.
first language, and I still can't speak it. So that's fucking
you
cute.
dumb bitch. I'm kidding.
Weird way of looking at things, but you plant a seed, right? And you are like, I can't wait for this to grow into a flower.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially, in a person, you'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna see. This person projects potential qualities of work ethic, of respect, of love and care. Okay, so potential. They haven't actually shown these characteristics yet. However, you've picked up on maybe mannerisms that identify that they could turn into someone like that. Anyway, 3 months down the track, it's going well. The sex is fantastic, etc., etc.
His dick good.
You find out that after you've had the exclusive talk, he's still seeing other women. Okay. And then you've had the exclusive talk with him beforehand, and then he's been caught out seeing other women, and you've gone, oh, you know what? We're not actually together. Maybe I didn't make it clear enough. I'm going to allow this just this once and give him one more chance. So that right there is you being like, oh, well, he's identified the problem after he's done something wrong. So there's that potential that he's not going to do it again. When realistically, people that aren't empaths will be biting that on the bum and being like, no, you actually disrespected me when I said not to do something and when I said that I want to be exclusive and we had that mutual agreement, and then you've still gone and disrespected me. I'm not going to move this any forward. So I find that people let things carry on for a lot longer. I'm very guilty of that because I love to see potential in people, and I do love to see the best in people and wish them the best. But now I have learnt to do that and wish them best from a distance. You're not my responsibility, and that is how I think we should all move forth in this life. Thank you, Gandhi.
So gaslighting, I
Mm.
did not know what it was. Even like it was last week when we met up that you told me what gaslighting was. I
Yeah.
knew like so same as my friends. I brought it up the other day with them. We
Oh,
know
go,
like
go.
what it entitles and what like the characteristics of what of it was,
Mm.
but I didn't know that was an actual like
term for it. Yeah.
and that's what like it was so
Why?
interesting because I brought it up to all my friends. We couldn't put a term to it, but when we were talking about it, we're like, oh, like this person has gone through it, like that's happened to me, or this is that, and it's just really interesting, even just talking about it, because like people were like realizing, like, yeah, I've been through that.
I think it's something that we need to talk about because even people watching it probably don't know what the actual term is.
Yeah,
And like,
well, I fucking didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm really smart and know everything because I'm Asian.
Oh my
Just kidding.
God. Okay.
Give me the
So,
what's definition.
I'm
Google it.
gonna Google it and then I'm gonna kind of elaborate on it because I've done quite a lot of research into gaslighting. I'm also a fellow victim of gaslighting and narcissistic relationships, which is a whole nother belly of a beast. Okay, wait, here we go. Gaslighting is a tactic in which a person or entity, in order to gain more power, makes a victim question their reality. It works much better than you may think. For example, in the movie Gaslight, 1944, sponsor me, a man manipulates his wife to the point where she thinks she is losing her mind. So I want to ask our wonderful audience, those total 7 people that are watching,
Woo, go mom.
queens. I am going to ask you: have you ever been in a situation, whether that be a relationship with a parent, in a friendship, where you know that they've done something wrong, but they've made you feel like you're crazy?
But
And
when
I
you're
think-
in that situation, you don't see it. It's
You don't see it.
only if you're out of it, you're like,
Mm.
okay, maybe this happened when I was in it.
And it takes a whole lot of self-awareness to understand that you are in it. And it also takes, I think it's kind of sucky, but it does take you to have experienced that situation
Yeah.
to realize that you've been gaslighted.
Yeah.
So I had a friend from high school. She was also in quite a similar relationship to me. However, he was very sociopathic, a lot of sociopathic tendencies. He was very, very manipulative, very good at controlling her mind. It caused a lot of problems for her developmentally, and so basically, yeah, the main thing that would come out of that was and my relationship too, was that I would literally be like, why do I feel like I don't know my truth? Like, why do I feel like my conscience, like my gut feeling, is going off? It's going fucking crazy. It's like fire alarms. But he's making me feel like I'm a psychopath. Like, I remember there was this one situation. Sorry if you're watching this, mate. Like, I'm just blowing it all out in the open, to be honest.
You said you wouldn't.
I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to
Roast
because
time.
I need to give people this example. Whatever. Hope you're good, mate.
Don't sue
Um,
us.
I don't really care.
I do. I can't afford to get sued. Don't associate me with that.
Neither can I. Anyway, there was a situation when I was in a relationship, not even going to say which one, where the guy was on drugs. He was constantly on drugs. I was very against it when I was younger. I was just like, don't laugh at me now. That's just not. I was really against it in high school. Whatever. He was constantly on it all the time. I think there was an addiction or something going on there. And I saw this photo and his pupils were like fucking massive, and I was like, oh my god, he's on drugs, because like I was like, what the hell is going on? And I remember I confronted him about it. This is like the most toxic thing ever. I confronted him about it, and then he literally, I remember this conversation to this day. I was like, "You're on drugs in this photo. I can see that you're on drugs in this photo." And he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I literally changed everything for you. Like, you're fucking crazy to even think that. Like, all this shit." And he literally guilt tripped me so much. I remember I like literally cried myself to sleep that night, and I was like,
Oh
oh
my
my
god,
god,
why
I'm
did I
such a
accuse him
horrible
that?
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm such a horrible person. He's changed so much for me. He's done so much for me. Like, all this crazy shit, all because I fucking caught him out and like pulled him up on his shit. Like, and I think about that, and then I think about every single experience that I had after that as well. And now I'm just going into like dating and relationships and friendships with trusting my intuition 100%. Because every single time I've just gone with my gut, it's been right. Like, even like previously, recently, my gut was going off. Someone wasn't being truthful to me. I was like, they are literally fucking lying to me, and I know they're fucking lying to me. And then I saw the best in them, saw the potential, believed them, and then
Potential.
months later, I've gone, oh well, my gut feeling was right, and they were lying to me the
You
whole
fucked up
time.
there.
Yeah, so that's a bingo. So that's a big characteristic of gaslighting, is that you feel like you're crazy just for even just for expressing your needs. Like, people, I find men. Sorry, I feel like I'm going on such a big rant about
That's
this.
alright. You passionate.
I'm really
She's
passionate
experienced some
about it.
things.
Yeah, I've been through some shit, and I want to share my experience because I think this could help a lot of people.
To like realize, like,
Yeah,
if
and
you're doubting yourself and you're watching this, like,
yeah,
it's okay.
if you're doubting yourself and you're doubting your relationship, and you feel like there's been aspects where your mentality and your mental health is being compromised, first of all, get the fuck out of there.
You
Honey.
don't deserve that. No one
You
deserves that.
deserve better. What's that Destiny's Child song? Anyway, moving on. Who the hell's messaging me? Um, so anyway, basically,
It's not a fucking good situation. Get yourself the fuck
yeah.
out.
So gaslighting, and I find that a lot of my friends have been, and you can probably relate, have been in
Yeah.
relationships where they've expressed their needs, and the guy has made them feel like they're crazy for expressing their needs.
Yeah.
And I've been in a situation too where I'm like, I need more. Like, I'm putting
Yeah.
in and I'm trying to meet you halfway,
Yeah.
and you're giving me nothing emotionally. And it's this thing where it's like this emotionally draining cycle where you're like, I'm gonna give and give and give to someone, because I would do the same thing if, like, I would expect somebody to do that back to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, people just don't meet you halfway. So I guess it's about identifying whether this person is actually in it, whether this person respects you enough to know that you deserve to have your needs met. And also, I feel like a lot of people, my experience, men in particular, love to use you like a little toy, where they will just pick you up off the shelf whenever they need emotional support, and then they'll just put you back down again, and then you'll kind of be left like, I've got all this shit going on. Like, over Christmas for me, the bushfires was really
Yeah.
crazy. I had all this stuff going on. I reached out to someone that I really cared about, and they just dropped off the face of the earth. And I was like, oh, so I've been there for you for a long time, and then you're suddenly disappearing. Whew, that was a real
You're getting roasted.
shoot me in the guts next time, darling. Woo!
You all right there, Nora?
Yeah, no, I'm a bit sweaty. I think I need some water. You know what? I'm fucking keeping that in there. Sorry, everyone.
I'm cutting it out. No, I'm
Ow!
kidding. But like, no, I've seen so many friends go through it, and like, there was one girl that I know. Well, I know. She's my friend. Love it a bit. So gorgeous. So like, just good person. Fucking cracker of a time on a night out. Love that bitch. But like, when the guy she used to be with, like, controls her so much, and it's so sad to see. Because one time this is like a year later, they stopped dating and whatever, and like she's still crying over him and being like, oh my god, if I did better, it's all my fault. Even though he emotionally abused her, fucking cheated on her, like, that's all
Crazy
that I
stuff.
know of.
Yeah,
but like,
literally.
made her feel like shit, and like, but she still thinks if she did better, or if she like
It's
did
this
more.
weird, like,
And I'm
you're
like,
nothing
how-
without me
yeah.
thing.
And I'm like,
It's
how? Like, I look at
crazy.
you and go, you could get anyone you want. You're like an amazing person, but like, this one person has so much control over you, and it's like, Nala.
Sorry, she just stood there like staring at my sock, and I was like,
No,
"What's
don't take the sock.
wrong?"
And like,
yeah,
fuck. And it's just like, I don't understand because I've never been in it, but just to
No.
see someone like that, it's
so
like,
hard.
how can you let someone have so much control over your mind
Yeah,
when they were like so abusive?
yeah.
But they're like, oh,
And
he
it-
loved me so much. But
and-
I don't think that's real love. I don't think that's true love.
No,
I just think
fuck
that's
no.
selfish
It's just
love.
their perception. It's like
Yeah.
their perception of how much they can take
Yeah.
from someone that's
Yeah.
obviously giving. And I think, something I'd like to comment on there too with like your friend and other people that have experienced that.
Yeah.
I went through this big problem where I felt really angry at myself for not being over it quicker.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like something really traumatic happens to you and it's been quite a long time afterwards and you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, why am I not over this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why am I still hung up on this guy, hung up on this friendship, like hung up on this thing that I did, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like this process of letting go. But emotional abuse and emotional manipulation really plays with that process of healing because you're compromising your whole mental state. Like, everything is changing in your head. You're trying to make sense of what was the truth and what was the lie.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody has been unfaithful to you, like that changes. Like, and I'm just gonna comment on it because I've been through it so many times where like, and I'm like not gonna get emotional, but fuck me,
You're getting very.
I know, but it's like
Are you
literally
okay?
no, like
Don't cry because I'm fucking awkward.
no, don't like literally, it literally changes. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Do you want a tissue? I'm the worst person to cry to. I'm just so awkward.
No, it's fine. You get the broom out and you're like,
Are you
no,
okay?
you're fucked, dude. No, it literally. Sorry, I get so passionate about this because it
That's good.
I don't-
Like you care.
yeah, I don't think people understand the people that cheat. This affects it. The actions don't just stop with your actions. You know what I mean? The consequences don't just stop with you cheated, you either admitted it, you didn't, whatever they
There's so
found
much
out.
afterwards.
There
as
is
well.
so many things that particularly me, my friends have had to work through in terms of trust. And even in terms of trusting yourself and trusting your own mentality. You've been made to feel like you're crazy for so long. And then you're like trying to find yourself, like find your way back to yourself. One thing that I've always been told, and a lot of people that I know that have been in really horrible like relationships where their trust has just been completely obliterated, is that people focus so heavily on like letting go. And I'm like, it's so easy for the other person to say let go when they're not the one that's been done wrong. Like, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I think,
Yeah.
and even like friends and stuff that view it from the outside, like just talking from the inside out, it's really hard to let go of things like cheating and things like emotional abuse because when you find an anchor in someone and when you find a home in someone and you see a future with them, you're not just letting go of that person, you're letting go of all of the perceptions and all of the ideas and I guess like hopes for the future as well. And I think this really interesting quote, it was um, men mourn the now and women mourn the future. And I think that it's so true because women are maternal beings. So like we build this future and we want to build a home with someone and whatever. And it's like when that happens, you thought you finally had it all set and you were like, yes, I finally found someone that's going to treat me the way that I deserve. And then that's compromised and you're like, oh fuck, like everything changes. Your perception of people changes. Your work ethic. I know that when I was in a really bad relationship, my work ethic was really, really bad. Like I was like really uninspired with work. And it's weird because I take inspiration from so many things. And yeah, my work was really heavily affected. And I just felt like I was forcing it all the time and it was just really horrible. So yeah, just like that infidelity and mistrust doesn't just stop at the actual relationship, it continues on and affects everyone, all areas of life. I've seen friends that have just been in the most horrible mental states as a result of somebody compromising their trust and not being the person that they should be for someone that's probably what, like some of the most caring people I've ever seen have been hurt. And I literally like look at people and I'm like, wow,
Like, how can you hurt them?
like how can you take advantage of someone like that? It's just
But
it's
like
beyond
coming
me.
from a friend view, even like my perceptions of relationships, like I'm pretty sure majority of my friends have been cheated on, and
It's
that's
fucked.
fucked.
That's
and
a
like,
lot of.
I know.
It's
Actually,
so
I
weird
have
how
no friends, so
my
No.
entire two friends.
Yeah. No, but like most of my friends have been cheated on, and it's like for me, even like when I speak to guys or whatever, I'm like, oh my god, like
Immediately,
immediately,
yeah.
I'm like,
Does
I
it
just
change
don't
your
trust
view
them.
of
Yeah.
men? Yeah.
I'm just like, or if someone gets cheated on now,
Me
it
too.
doesn't like I don't like. I'm not like shocked. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
one bites the
yeah.
dust. Yeah, literally.
Like it's
dude.
not nothing shocking to me now because like
Yeah.
pretty much like I'd say 90% of my friends have been cheated on, and when I hear it, it's just not like a oh my god, I would never thought that happened. I just like oh like yeah, fucking men suck. But like that's like how like
It's just how women are raised, though. It's
Yeah.
women are just raised to expect the worst from men. Women are taught to expect the worst from men.
But
because
I don't
of how
want to.
I don't want
I don't
to
want
either.
to perceive
Fuck no.
like
I have
going into yeah.
I have so many great men in my
Yeah.
life, and I'm like,
Like we're not shitting on men. Like
No,
I
and
love the boys and men in my
if
life.
you think that, then
They're
tune out,
fucking
because if you
awesome.
can't see
Yeah.
a woman's perspective,
We're
you're
just
never going to progress
talking about
to the
toxic
future.
people like that we
Literally.
have experienced, and it's just like I don't want to think that I don't want to go into talking to someone or
there,
whatever and
queen.
go, oh, they're already going to cheat on me when they might not. But like I've been around it so much that I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, literally. And you just like it's like this muscle memory where
Yeah.
like immediate reflex.
And
you
like-
see like one red flag
Yeah.
and you're like, and it probably isn't even a red flag,
Yeah.
and you're like, nah, tap
No,
out.
literally.
I get so like dating
Yeah.
for me is like a fucking
yeah, I'm like fuck that
minefield.
shit. Like I'm not gonna go
Sometimes
through
I'm
that.
like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch, and then other times I'm like
I'm
the
a
most
fucking pussy.
nervous fucking
Yeah.
anxiety chihuahua.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's literally me on like every single time I talk to a guy, and it's like I don't want to I don't want to have that mindset, but because I've seen it through so many people,
times.
it's like fuck. That's the first thing I'm gonna think of, and I just don't like. And I've seen all my friends fucking go downhill. Like, do I want to put myself through that?
Dude,
Like,
literally.
I'm already downhill. How much fucking slower can I go?
I'm already rock bottom. They
I'm
can't be
fucking-
lower.
Exactly. I can't fucking go to fucking. I don't
That's
know.
so wild. But
No,
yeah,
like, yeah, you know what I mean?
100%. And I think, yeah, totally like the way that I've seen my friends be treated too. Like, because obviously when I'm treated, I'm like, oh, that's just one guy. But then when you see like heaps of friends get treated badly,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, there's actually a lot of people out here that are capable of treating me like
But
shit.
I just
and
think,
it's
like,
fucking wild.
Listen, like, I just think if I saw one of my friends like speak poorly, like, or like do something bad to their boyfriend, I'd be like, what the fuck are you thinking about? Like, what are you doing? Even when like we're out, and if I saw one of my friends cheat on like their boyfriends, do other boys
men's
say
friends?
that to other friends?
That is
Okay.
that's so
That's
funny
my
you brought
question.
that up.
I'm like,
That's my
do
biggest.
they say that? Do they go, oh, like, what are you doing, man? Like, you shouldn't. You got a
Yeah.
good girl at home. Like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
But like, I just don't know because like, I would be like,
I would go up to
definitely-
my
yeah.
friend and be like, there are two people in this relationship, and there are two people in this situation that are gonna feel the consequences of
Yeah.
your actions. Like 100%. And you know, it's so funny you say that, because I literally think the exact same thing. And I guess it links into like, we're gonna talk about standards and boundaries, and it talks about like one of the biggest things that I look at when I'm dating a guy is what their friendship group is like, and how their
Yes.
friendship group treats women.
Yes.
Because I think that like in my experience, like I always think when I get cheated on, I'm like, because God forbid it happens again, but
Touch wood.
yeah, sorry. I think
sorry.
like I think that I'm like, what are your friends saying about that? Like, they obviously know that it's going on because you're all close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they telling you that it's
Like that's
you're
not
not
alright to do.
treating me the right way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that judging a friendship's moral compass, like
Yeah.
a group of friends and their moral compasses and where their respect towards women lies, is a real identifier in the way that he's going to treat you. But yeah, I think that everyone, I want you all to take from this is that everybody has a responsibility to heal their own shit. No, you're doing yourself a disservice by not healing your own trauma, because you're not going to experience a relationship or dating to the full potential of enjoyment that you could. So, basically, big therapy equals big enjoyment for future queens.
Everyone needs to know, like, you deserve the fucking world, and
You
don't
do.
expect anything less.
No,
Honestly,
and
don't.
what's that thing that Florence Given says? Don't settle for crumbs
yeah.
when you deserve the whole damn
Don't
fucking cake, bitch.
Don't settle just because you want company. Don't settle because you want a relationship.
Oh, the loneliness thing, that's a whole nother thing
I've
in
been
itself.
fucking single for 21 years, and I'm fucking fine.
And she's flying, queen.
And I'm crying right now. No, I start crying. I'm fucking fine. No, but like, like, yes, being lonely sometimes sucks, but being
Yeah.
single also sometimes is fucking great because I don't
Being
have someone
lonely,
yapping in my ear.
being lonely is different to feeling alone.
Yeah.
That's
100%
feeling alone is
is
when you
fucking-
go and you're like, hey, where's my ex at right now?
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend that's notorious for checking Snap Maps, and you need to throw that in the ocean.
Or when they make fake accounts, and
oh,
I'm like,
don't.
you're a
I'm actually
dumb
guilty of that.
bitch.
I've done that before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, but that was my dumb bitch juice moment, and now I'm like, I'm giving
I have a
energy to
friend,
something
like,
that doesn't deserve
she's
it.
like, I'll block him on everything, but doesn't block him on a fake account. I was like, that doesn't.
I hate
you
people that say that
You're not blocking him on everything because
No.
you still have a fucking fake
don't
account.
block,
You can still keep
don't
up
block
with
him on everything and then keep his messages unblocked, honey. He's gonna come
Yeah.
back through.
Oh,
He's gonna whoop. But yeah, Queen. So I guess we've reached the end of this thing. I was going to talk
Episode
about
2.
boundaries, but I think we should do another little section on
I think
career.
relationships is such a big topic. Like we could do.
Yeah,
a
we
couple
could do
of
so
things.
many different
Yeah.
things. If you have requests, let
Yeah,
us
if you
know.
want us to talk about certain things.
I
in
think we've covered. I don't
relationships.
think I can like go through the trauma of talking about cheating ever again. So thanks, guys. That's the first and last time.
If you want to see
We've
Nora
cheated.
out of this podcast, please send me a message. If you want to be my next podcast partner, send me a message because she's out.
But
No,
enjoy
kidding.
having
I'm
no
kidding.
lips couch and enjoy having
Fuck
no
you.
Nala.
Well, I'll have the fucking Blue Mountains and Penrith. for
Oh
ya.
yeah, Queen.
Nah, but
I need to
like,
stop saying that, please.
love
sue
your
me.
work.
Love your work, Queens.
Thanks. You're a fucking.
But
She's
yeah,
out.
thanks for tuning into this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little deeper than the first.
not
But
as
this
funny,
is
I know.
definitely the gist that we're gonna go into. We're
Yeah.
gonna do some funny ones and we'll do some
We're still funny.
I
We're
want to do a
just- we're
funny
serious.
relationship one because I have some fucked dating stories that I'd love to share with you all. Just to keep it lighthearted. Like that one time
But
the
like-
guy, if he's listening, he called my ass a sculpture. I heard it
Ooh,
and I ignored it. And then he said it again. And I was like, oh my God.
Shut the fuck up.
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared.
Mom, help.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
cute.
done.
We're done.
Bye.
I'm tapped out. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty done. I just need to eat now. So see you
You eat
later.
and-
Fucking keep up with us. Subscribe.
Thanks for
Watch our vlogs.
listening to
Fuck, we're
the Love
awkward
Shack.
motherfuckers. Bye.
Bye, Queens. Thanks for listening.